Welcome to Legends, a series that delves into the lore within Horizon Forbidden West. In this episode, we continue our exploration of the machines that define the world of our distant future, each tasked with a specific function by the system that created it. Having previously explored the many acquisition class machines of Horizon, we now turn our focus to the Recon class, specialists in threat detection and data collection. Often working as the eyes and ears of other machines carrying out their designated tasks, all but one Recon machine harnesses the defining Far Call ability. When a threat is detected in the area, these scout machines will let out a piercing screech, alerting all machines in their designated group of the danger. Under Gaia's stewardship, this was essential to protecting her machines without putting the tribal populace hunting them in danger. In Horizon's present, depending on the makeup of that machine group, this may cause more skittish machines to run, but cause more combat-oriented ones to go on the offensive. Due to their respective roles, most of the machine designs are based on animal morphologies that prioritize speed and mobility. Whether on land, water, or the skies above, these machines find the best vantage to seek out danger. Though not the heaviest hitters of the machine world, they command a hunter's attention, as they can often make the difference in bringing down a desired target or falling victim to the hunt. Perhaps the most iconic Recon machine is the Watcher, specifically its red-eye variant that has made a home in the lowland jungles and the western shores of the Forbidden West. Though its standard counterpart has been left to patrol the east, red-eye Watchers continue to be a stalwart member of the class. Based on smaller theropod dinosaur morphologies of the prehistoric past, their large eye grants the machine exceptional perception capabilities for threat detection. These basic units are more limited than others of the same class, but are more hardy than the common Burrower of the West. Where typical Watchers would attempt to use their superior numbers to encircle a threat and launch melee attacks, the Red Eye will usually keep its distance and attempt to outflank their adversaries to catch them in a crossfire of high-velocity plasma projectiles. Its signature eye is also capable of charging up to release a blinding flash of light, robbing a hunter of their vision for several seconds. A window of opportunity for it and its allies to attack before you can collect yourself. Up close, they rely on tail strikes, head bashes, and jumps to smash down on their enemies. Non-Apex variants are susceptible to shock damage, so stay hidden and take out the first before moving on to more dangerous targets. Next we come to the Burrowers, one of the more common Recon class machines we see across the Forbidden West. Its design based on the mammalian Mustelidae family that includes the likes of weasels, otters, badgers, and wolverines. Much like many of the animals that inspired their creation, the Burrower can indeed maneuver and tunnel underground, allowing it to emerge in unexpected locations, spotting enemies before they themselves are detected. These machines are also amphibious and are capable of swimming adeptly in rivers, lakes, and oceans. These capabilities alone make them one of the most versatile machines of their class, scouting alongside its contemporaries in nearly every ecosystem. Specialized variants only add more capabilities and toughness to successfully warn their fellow machines. Rather than carrying a typical resource container, canister burrowers will carry an elemental canister instead. How this contributes to their Recon class goals is a bit mysterious, as they don't seem to harness the element for any offensive or defensive capabilities, instead using plasma shots as their preferred ranged attack across all three variants. Due to carrying this more volatile cargo, however, the canister burrower is built sturdier than its more basic variant. The tracker burrower is truly the most well-equipped among its counterparts. Unlike the others, this machine not only excels in spotting threats, but keeping them in sight. Using its tracking spray, it fires a gaseous projectile from its sprayer that can swivel 360 degrees. If a hunter finds themselves in this mist while out in the open, the tracker burrower as well as its machine allies will know their location even if they attempt to hide. Once locked on, the burrower can cause temporary deafness from a screech powered by its sound shell, hurl rocks, strike out with its tail, and jaws. Much like the Watcher, silent strike when close, or a decent sharp shot bow at range is recommended to avoid detection. The next machine in this class is another that we first discovered patrolling the lands to the east, the Longleg. Inspired by the ratite family of mostly large flightless birds such as emus and ostriches, these machines are fast-moving and can close distance very quickly. Outside of utilizing their eye sensors, if a Longleg suspects an enemy is close but hidden from sight, it will inflate its concussion sacs on its chest to emit sonic waves that will reveal those attempting stealth tactics. Beyond just alerting the machines it's scouting for, the Longleg's large head-mounted antenna can transmit a signal that will call additional machines to join the fight. Though this can make combat substantially harder, the Longleg can also more than hold its own. Its sonic scanner transforms into an offensive weapon, stunning hunters from as far as 30 meters out. Once disoriented, the machine can either shower fireballs powered by its wing thrusters from a distance, or use them to propel itself some 20 meters, pouncing on the enemy with its beak and claws. Or even worse, use its burning wing flap, sending flames out in all directions, scorching anything unlucky enough to be in the vicinity. Longlegs usually travel in groups of 2 to 3 and are quite a bit stronger than the machines we've talked about so far. So, it's best to destroy critical components like their antenna or concussion sacs before the fight really begins. Next is the first Recon class flyer that we've encountered in Horizon, the Sky Drifter, based on creatures akin to the prehistoric Archaeopteryx. However, this machine doesn't fly in a traditional sense, as the Sky Drifter activates boosters fastened to their legs to lift off, before gliding for a limited time. After 30 or so seconds of use, these boosters will overheat, forcing the machine to land and wait for the components to cool. As Hephaestus continues to be the primary force in machine creation, we continue to see leaps in sophistication when it comes to developing countermeasures to the machine hunters of the tribes. For the Sky Drifter, this comes in the form of its scanning beam, a cone of green light emitted from its scanning unit that can detect hunters attempting to hide. Soaring above, the machine will sweep across the terrain, scanning for attackers waiting to strike. Once locked on, it will swoop and dive at its target with razor-sharp wings and flames from its boosters. Much like the tracking Burrower, it can also spew a gas to reveal a target as well, but can take even greater advantage, firing razor-sharp quills from its tail once it has you in its sights. Some are even equipped with antennas, allowing it to call reinforcements as well if it can't get the job done on its own. Combining many of the abilities of other Recon class machines, as well as its unparalleled maneuverability, it's ideal to get them in a brittle state to bring them down quickly before they become too much to handle. Last, but certainly not least on our list, is another of Horizon's most iconic machines. Based on the animal morphology of the towering giraffe, is the Tallneck. Now, before you jump in the comments to tell me that the Tallneck is not a Recon class machine, well, it appears that that might be at least in question. In Horizon Zero Dawn, the Tallneck fell under its own unique classification as a communications class machine, the only one of its kind. Unarmed but heavily armored machines designed and routed by Gaia to conduct topographic scans of the surrounding area and transmit that telemetry to other machines. We also learned from Tallneck machine logs that it would also collect and transmit data concerning weather systems and other meteorological findings. Somehow these machines appear to have remained docile and unaffected by the derangement that has steadily infected the rest of the machine ecosystem, giving us a glimpse of what life may have been like for the tribes pre-extinction signal. In Horizon Zero Dawn's official game guide, it made a point of telling us that the Tallneck is a part of the communication class, and it's even referred to as a communications machine within the Forbidden West official game guide too. However, in Forbidden West's machine catalog, we can clearly see it's identified as a Recon class machine. Now, I'm not sure if this is simply an error that made it into the game, or if Hephaestus has finally managed to alter the fundamental function of the Tallneck in some way. But I felt this at least needed to be mentioned when it came to discussing the machine and the rest of the reconnaissance class. When it comes to the machine ecosystem of Horizon, the Recon class is generally an unheralded one. But we must remember how important they've been to Gaia's terraforming goals. When acquisition machines were hard at work, these machines were their eyes and ears, preventing humans from dismantling the very system designed to ensure their survival. Be sure to join us next time as we examine the machines that are responsible for the safekeeping and ferrying of resources from the field to Zero Dawn facilities, the transport class. And that brings our journey to an end. If you'd like to see more content like this, likes and shares are always appreciated, and if you're hungry for more Horizon lore, consider subscribing and checking out the rest of our lore library. Also consider supporting the channel on Patreon so we can keep making content just like this. Check out the link in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and keep questing.